You know, Spider-Man Brand New Day is to be released on 31st of July. And there's something I just don't get. I'm just opening up the Cineplex app. When you go to book the movie, you can actually start booking it from July 29th. Even though the release date is 31st. And I've usually seen July 30th for a 31st release. That'd be the norm, but like this is 29th. Although there are like 7 p.m. shows at all the locations, which makes me think like 7 p.m. particularly like some embargo type of thing. I don't know if that's the term, but in like tech terms that'd be embargo. And I wonder what this is about. I'm gonna look it up. I thought I'll just take you guys along with it. Okay, Google search is dead, I suppose. That's obviously a joke, but yeah, I'm ChatGPTing this. So I just asked that Spider-Man Brand New Day is to be released on July 31st, but I see shows from July 29th starting at 7 p.m. at Cineplexes. I see this often with movies where they are to be released a certain day, but they start selling tickets for shows starting a day or two before that. So what's up with that? I didn't write the last part, but I assume it understands that I'm just trying to understand what the hell's going on. I also have it set to like high thinking because I know it takes a bit longer, but you generally get better answers. So let's just wait for it. It's searching the web for me. Alright, the advertised release date usually means the wide release date, not necessarily the first moment any paying audience can watch the movie. For Spider-Man, Sony and Cineplex officially list Friday, July 35th as the release date, but the schedule is effectively Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever. The 29th screening has specifically been promoted as an early screening 2 days before the wide release. This happens because studios treat Friday as the official opening day for marketing and industry reporting, while allowing cinemas to run evening previews beforehand. Thursday previews are extremely common and their revenue is normally fall into Friday's reported box office total. Blockbusters increasingly receive Wednesday early access events as well, so July 31st is basically the first full universally available day, not the literal premiere. The July 29th Cineplex showing should be the complete normal movie. It is simply an authorized early screening, potentially with fewer locations or formats available. Let me see if that's true. Now 30 and 31st have the exact same show timings. Okay, so now as I get the early preview thing, which in most cases would be just a day before, but for major ones up to 2 days before. But 30 and 31st have the exact same number of showings and timings, even though 31st is the official release date. So what's going on there? Because it's the exact same. I'm looking at it right here. So I wonder what it's going to say. That means July 30 is functionally the real opening day, even though Sony continues calling Friday, July 31st the official release date. There's no rule that preview screenings must be limited to 1 or 2 evening shows. Studios can authorize anything from 1 special screening, evening only shows, afternoon and evening shows, or a complete normal schedule identical to Friday. So in this case, the distinction is basically administrative. 29 generally limited early access event. July 30th full-scale Thursday previews despite looking exactly like a regular release day. July 31st officially recorded and marketed release date. The reason Sony still uses 31st is the North American theatrical release that traditionally assigned a Friday release date, and Thursday preview revenues roll into Friday or opening weekend figures. The numbers explicitly note that preview grosses count towards the moving opening day totals. Only continued 31st. Basically, it seems like to inflate the numbers. I guess that makes sense, but also it doesn't to me. But it's like a skewed, not even skewed, it's like a warped number. Because think about it, they're trying to make it seem like the opening weekend made a lot more money compared to like movies that have come before, I suppose. But if movies from before did like an early preview the day before, so in this case it would be like July 30th, where you have like just 1 or 2 evening shows in all the theaters in your town, and then 31st is the regular day, that's fine, because they look at the first weekend, the opening weekend figures. So that's like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But in this case, it's like Wednesday evening, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's like over 4 days compared to just 3 days. Over time, the variables are going to change. Like, you're just going to have more theaters and more showings generally as time goes, because you're going to be able to seat more people. You're going to have bigger cinemas. You're going to have just more locations generally. More people will be able to access them easily. So I mean, those numbers would inflate anyway compared to before. At this point, like, that's, I would assume, plateaued. The kind of audience that you'd get is kind of basically capped to a certain level on the opening weekend at least. And then as things progress, yeah, maybe more people do watch the movies, or they don't, or whatever. But opening weekend, I would say, like, this just kind of plateaued, the kind of people that would come. So trying to cater to more people by having it released like 2 days before it's supposed to. So you see my point. Like, I don't know if officially that's the thing, but like, Avatar had a Friday release date. Let's assume that they release on Friday. Their opening weekend figures are 3 days, and this is 4+ days. Maybe Avatar was 4 days also, but it was like maybe few showings on Thursday and then regular. This is like few on Thursday, an extra day, a few on Wednesday. Spider-Man is an extra day Thursday, a few showings Wednesday, and then the regular. I don't know how I feel about that, because realistically it doesn't really matter. It's just semantics. The average person would be like, oh, like, wow, this is done so well for an opening weekend, because after the fact, does it matter? Like, it has to be a good movie. So I suppose it doesn't really, it's not like a big deal. I don't know, there's just some weird rabbit hole I wanted to go down. But if it just comes down to money, there's nothing to go down. Because if you can just answer something by money, that made me sad, I was honestly hoping there was like a bigger reason that, okay, there's just kind of a tradition that they're carrying forward that is just traditionally a Friday release date, which seems to be the case still. Or just sometimes if they're like, okay, they look into some sort of data stats or something, and they're like, okay, this Wednesday in this town would be a great day for, to roll it out, because a lot more people are willing to watch movies on Wednesdays and Thursday evening compared to Friday. In that case, like, sure, like, you're trying to cater to the audience and not have them like skip out a whole weekend in a couple of days. Just have them watch it earlier, and then whoever can just watch it over the weekend watches it over the weekend. But this, like, it just comes down to like just money, like, which is just sad. Anyway, I guess that's good. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna see you in the next one.